Hello, my friends. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. It's me, Mel, and you are watching me here on Facebook or YouTube. And this is Spiritual AF. Spiritual as fuck. This is your live psychic reading show with me, Mel, Enlightened Spirit. As per usual, you can submit your questions in the chat and I will do my level best to answer them. If you're watching on Instagram, hello. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, hello. Every Monday at 8 o'clock p.m., I'm here to share with you channeled messages with Oracle card inspiration to help you get through your week, help you get through your life, help you get through the year, and to hashtag live enlightened and spiritual AF, spiritual as fuck. And so a little house cleaning, a little bit about me, right? So who the hell am I? I am a channel. I take messages given to me from spirit, and they are based out of love, light, and empowerment, and they're here to help you navigate this world. The messages are designed to help you find more freedom, more empowerment, and more love. So if you haven't had a reading with me in person, I recommend that you do so. You can find me at the Awaken Center, or you can shoot me a message and we can meet up, have a reading in person or a virtual reading, which is also super fun. I have exciting news today. It is going to be released this evening, a wonderful event that I'm hosting at the Awaken Center in the Plymouth Meeting Mall, Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, is the Love, Healing, Hope Psychic Fair on Saturday, February 15th. This is our way to celebrate Valentine's Day. If you don't have plans on Friday, who cares? Who cares if you don't have plans on Friday? Saturday is where it's at, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can join me and a bunch of other talented readers, talented healers at the Awaken Center in the Plymouth Meeting Mall in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, for a day of love, healing, and hope. You can get readings, you can get healings, you can pick up some crystals, you can pick up some sage. It's really going to be a wonderful weekend for loving on yourself and celebrating Valentine's Day in the best way that you know how, which is to be kind, to be generous, and to be invested in you, the greatest asset you will ever have. And so, with that, I think it's time for us to move on with our evening, where we now are going to access the affirmator cards, affirmators. I had to really figure out how they pronounce that. But these cards are my favorite. Well, every card I use is my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I guess that's why I use them, right? These cards are just wonderful because they are cards that give you help, that are designed to give you insight without sounding too preachy, without sounding too, rigid. So I love these cards. And hello there, everybody. And so we're going to draw one for the day, and it's going to give us some insight as to how we should approach the week, how we should approach the year. This is our second reading of 2025, first official reading of 2025, since it is the week of 2025. Okay, so communication. Perfect, right? Wonder how that other person's feeling. Ask them, right? Wish they knew how you were feeling. Tell them. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will just make asses of everyone, including the person who came up with that aphorism. So I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard this. My mother used to tell me this all the time. We cannot assume, because to assume will make an ass out of you and me. Get it? Assume, ASSUME. So I don't know about you guys, but I have often thought incorrectly that people could just read my mind, read my actions, read what I meant without me actively telling them so. I will admit this is part of what created the end of my marriage. Communication is so important, not just in our everyday lives, but especially in 2025. In 2025, we are tasked to go after what it is that we need to live happy, joyous, and free. And in order to do so, we have to cooperate, collaborate, co create with all the energies around us, right? In order to cooperate, collaborate, and co create with the energies around us, we need to tell the energies around us what it is we need, what it is we like, what it is we don't like, what it is we don't need. This doesn't mean you're going to get what you want, but one thing I can guarantee is you won't feel like an asshole for not speaking up for yourself. And that's the most important part of 2025, is that we must speak up for ourselves. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? This is the only way this co-creation, collaboration, cooperation is going to happen to create significant and hopefully positive change in all of our lives. And so moving right along to kind of determine what is in the way with some of our communication, right? I know for me that communicating my needs and desires was a scary prospect, because I felt as if people knew what I wanted, then they could actively keep me from getting it. Now, number one, when the hell did I become that important? Where people were actively plotting and planning to keep me from getting what I wanted. I'm not that important. And number two, I live in a universe like you guys that loves me and protects me and guides me and knows that if I'm getting a lot of the things that I need and many of the things I want, then that means I am going to be more effective in my helping of myself and the helping of others. So, communication is the key this year. And so, let's see what's in the way. Okay, no shit, right? It doesn't feel safe to communicate your needs and your desires, your wants. It doesn't feel safe to be vulnerable and express what it is you need, what you don't need, what you want, and what you don't want. And no shit, right? How many times have we communicated what we need or what we thought we needed, only to be invalidated for that need, only to be told that we were wrong and bad, only to be denied what we needed or what we thought we needed? Just like last week's reading, the most important element to communication is courage. And my wonderful friend, Amy Budanich, has taught me when we were working together with Root to Rise, was that we have to hold the vision and trust the process. That means I have to just hold on to the idea that when I communicate, I'm doing the right thing. I have to let go of the results that I expect to glean from my communication. So when I let go of the results, I can kind of respect and not be so shocked if my communication makes somebody feel not so great. I can maybe not get so butthurt when someone says no. That's the hard part, right? Is not getting butthurt when somebody says no or hell no or F you, right? So it's really important that when we are communicating, that we're doing it for GP, general practice. When we learn how to articulate what is most important on our hearts and our minds, then we become more skilled, more adept at doing so. And then we will see how the collaboration, cooperation, and co-creation kind of starts to fill in all the gaps in our lives just a little bit more effortlessly, right? A message about safety they want you to understand is that this year in particular, 2025 is not the year for you to put your safety into anybody or anything. This year is the year for you to understand that safety begins and ends with you. Unfortunately, in this lifetime, we've come under the assumption that there are people brought into our lives to help keep us safe. And although that is true to a degree, once we step out of the role of being someone to be caretaken, when we have to be our own steward, safety is our responsibility. And so for me, that was a very hard lesson to learn. What? You mean my husband's not supposed to keep me safe? My parents aren't supposed to keep me safe, even though I'm 35? I'm not 35. That happened when I was 35. No, I am supposed to generate a feeling of safety for myself. And so the real question is, what are you putting your safety, your security in? Are you putting it into your job? Are you putting it into your bank account? Are you putting it into your faith and your spirituality? I am putting my safety and security into my faith and spirituality because, baby, I'm magic as hell. That's why I'm doing this show. Spiritual AF. Yes, yes, yes. I have done amazing things, and it's not because of my own willpower alone. It has been because I've been collaborating, cooperating, and co-creating with the universe. And so I put my safety in the universe and trust and believe that if it's for me, it's going to come to me. If it doesn't come to me, it's not for me. I also trust and believe that the universe did not bring me this far just to drop me on my head, right? Yes, I'm going to experience some bumps and bruises, but the funny thing is I'm safe from those bumps and bruises. Besides, who's going to die? Who here leaves this earth without battle scars? I am a warrior, you are a warrior, and we're going to really cultivate a sense of safety that is autonomous, that is not contingent on our outside circumstances. Moving right along, we have divine passion. So when this card usually comes up, people are thinking, oh, well, this means I have to focus on my job, my career path, you know, and that's not true. Divine passion means doing more of the things that fill you up, doing more of the things that make your heart sing, doing more of the things that help you shine. And so when we do things that make us shine, that's when we start to feel safe. We are in this position of feeling really supported and really guided, and all the magic comes to us more effortlessly because we're doing something that is designed to lift our spirits, to help us see and greet and touch the highest version of ourselves. Many times it doesn't feel safe to activate in our divine purpose because our divine purpose seems to imply that it's an either or situation. And this is not true. You do not have to abandon the thing that is not your divine purpose in order to activate in your divine purpose. And that is very important to remember. Your divine purpose is going to show up. Your divine passion is going to be loud and proud in front of you, even when you don't want it to be. And so to not vilify it, to not weaponize yourself because you have responsibilities elsewhere, but embrace that divine passion and discover ways that you can kind of integrate it into your life, in your daily machinations, right? Moving right along, communication. The biggest part of my awakening into power was to really communicate to the universe what I did and did not want for this next chapter in my life. And that's how I became a professional psychic, medium, and advisor. I said to the universe, listen, I'm jumping in, balls to the wall. I am going to help others. I'm going to help myself, and I'm going to do it by being me and being someone who is faithful to bringing more light into the world. And this is what I want to do. And I need you to give me all the support I need. And so the universe was like, thanks for sharing. We appreciate you actually being very clear and honest about what it is you want in your life. And so if you have not been honest with universe, with spirit, Jesus, Buddha, God, Satan, Allah, Pele, Kali, Hecate, whoever the hell is running this shit show. If you've not been honest with them about what you want and what you don't want, it's time to start opening up those channels of communication, right? Move forward fearlessly, all right? To tell you the truth, you would not be getting this message to move forward fearlessly, to communicate, to cultivate a new sense of safety that is not contingent on outside things and outside circumstances. You would not be urged to embrace your divine passion and find ways to weave it into your daily life if they didn't realize that there was going to be fear involved with doing it. And now they're telling you to move forward regardless, to have what we talked about the last show was to have courage. All of these things, communication, safety, embracing your divine passions, doing the things that fill you up, require courage. And this card is saying that, yes, you can move forward fearlessly, because when you put your safety into something that's bigger than yourself, to something that isn't contingent on the human factor, you know that you are guided, you are protected, you are loved, and things, although they may seem uncomfortable, are really going to be placed in your path to help you access the highest and best version of yourself, to help you activate for your highest good. Oh, and that one jumped up, jump. Now I gotta get it. It's all the way under the table. And no wonder it's under the table, because this card is joy. I got the joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Okay, enough of that. Joy. Oh, it is uncomfortable to be your best advocate. It is uncomfortable to communicate in order to collaborate, co-create, and cooperate with the energies around you. It is uncomfortable to act in the spirit of courage, to be brave, even though you are fearful. It is uncomfortable to embrace your divine passion and weave it into your life. And it is uncomfortable to find safety, right? That isn't contingent on outside factors. It is uncomfortable, but this will help you find, discover, and embrace more joy in your life. Remember, this world that we live in was never designed to be this easy, smooth sailing type of experience. This world that we're in was designed to help us grow, designed to help us clear away any crap that keeps us from activating as our highest and best version of ourselves. This can be a joyous process. And so what they're asking you to do is to find pockets of joy in your journey. What the hell is the point in doing any of this stuff? What the hell is the point of being courageous? What the hell is the point of being safe? What the hell is the point of embracing divine passion or communicating if it doesn't lead to some form of joy? Your touchstone, my touchstone is, if I'm doing something, where is the joy in it? Why am I doing it? Is it bringing me joy, or is it bringing me more agita? Is it bringing me more fear? Now, this isn't to say that some things that bring us joy don't bring us more fear, but we really do want to check in with ourselves about whether or not what things that we're doing are laddering up to joy. Why? Because just like we are protected, loved, and guided, we are entitled to joy. We are. That's just the way it is. And if you don't believe that, then okay, have fun with that belief. But I invite you to consider a different option. Consider that as being someone who is responsible for communicating what it is that you need and you don't want, someone who's responsible of meeting your fears and walking through them with courage, someone who's responsible for cultivating their own sense of safety, someone who is responsible of embracing their divine passions and weaving them into their daily life. You are also responsible for finding joy, creating joy, because this is going to the fuel to propel you into the ninth dimension. And yes, there are 9 dimensions. There are way more than 9 dimensions. But yes, we are talking about moving into the ninth dimension in 2025. So, communication. It brings me joy. That's why I'm live. Moving forward fearlessly. This brings me joy because it reminds me that I am not a punk. It reminds me that I was made of greater stuff than I could have ever imagined I've been made out of. The same power that creates galaxies and planets is coursing within me, and I am stronger and more insightful, more radiant than I could ever thought I could be. And that brings me joy. Embracing my divine passion. Yes, all right. Sleeping in, especially at the daytime, brings me joy. So that's why I do it. I weave it into my daily practice, and then I get activated in the evening. That's why I continue to do it. That's why I try to have more acceptance for it, because it brings me joy. Oh, cultivating safety that isn't contingent on other people or outside circumstances. That shit brings me a lot of joy, because when I understand that the only thing that's in my way is me, then I understand that the only powers that could ever hurt me are the ones that I'm activating, not the ones that other people are activating. And that brings me joy, because I can only control myself. That's why I do this work. That is why I am helping others. That's why I'm doing the reading and doing the meditating and going deep with spirit, so I can share messages that have helped me navigate this wild and crazy planet. And again, my birthright, joy. I am responsible for finding it. I'm responsible for harnessing it. I am responsible for being in it. And so I hope you find the motivation. I hope you consider this as a pathway to more and more and more and more of what it is that you really truly want, need, and desire. So we're coming to the end of our time together. And because mediumship is something that I've enjoyed, and I am every day getting a little closer to giving more messages of love, healing, and hope for those who have experienced loss, communicating, connecting with those who have transitioned, because death is not the end. Death is just another chapter. And so the energy that those who have transitioned are that are living in, we can access that, and mediums do that. That's what I endeavor to do as well. So I like to pull a card from communicating with heaven, right? So we're going to see what heaven wants us to know today. All right. So I don't know who this is going to touch, but I know it's touching me. I am learning over here. As I've been moving deeper into my ancestral work, deeper into my connection with spirit and those who've transitioned, it's really heartening to understand that I am in school here on the earth, and the people who have transitioned are in school over there on the other side. And they are learning about the ways that they can be of more service to us on this earthly plane. They're learning about ways how they can not necessarily correct, but modify their own karma. So when it's time for them to decide to come back to this earth, they can make a proper decision or a more helpful decision. They are learning. This existence is all about a learning on the physical plane and on the spiritual plane. We are here to gather information and then apply it to the best of our ability. We never stop learning. We never stop growing. Death does not end. It does not end our school, right? So this also tells me that, there are people in my life who have transitioned who didn't do the right things by me. They didn't treat me well. They didn't treat other people well. And they've learned the error in their ways. And so, especially coming off the holidays, if there is someone that you have been thinking about that maybe didn't behave the way you wanted them to behave, or were not as kind as you would hope they would be, We want you to know that they have learned. They are learning, and they have a new perspective. They have a new vision about what life is here on the physical plane and on the spiritual plane. They are learning about the consequences of their actions. They're learning about the motivation of their actions. And they're learning about how, when they interact with others, how deeply that affects them. And many of them are finding pockets of remorse, finding pockets of forgiveness. So if you are feeling that someone is reaching out to you, and they're like kind of nagging you, they're tapping you on the shoulder, especially if you have resentments to them, offer them a little bit of forgiveness, even when you don't feel very honest with your forgiveness. That goes a long, long way. Resentment, they say, is drinking poison, expecting somebody else to die. And so you are invited to stop drinking the poison, right? To choose joy, right? To have more safety, right? How can you feel safe within yourself if you're drinking the poison of resentment, expecting other people to die, other people to hurt, right? You can't feel safe that way. How can you embrace your divine passion? You don't even know, you can't even be in touch with your divine passion if you're so filled with resentment, anger, and fear. No more. Communication is always going to be withheld if you're still dealing with resentment. We're asking you to offer forgiveness to all parties in all timelines that have ever harmed you, and to move forward fearlessly, knowing that you lose nothing by offering some form of forgiveness, whether or not you truly believe it. The belief in that forgiveness will come over time, but to move forward fearlessly with courage, because it is in your best interest to do so. Who gives a fuck about anybody else, right? It is in your best interest to release the pattern of poisoning yourself, expecting someone else to be harmed or die because you have anger in your heart, because you have fear in your heart, because they were hurt or you were hurt. And unfortunately, hurt people. And I know you don't want to be one of those people who continue to hurt people because you are hurt. And so I think that's it. We've gone through a lot. And so I hope you watch this again. I hope that you watch it again and you take notes and you send me questions. I love reading questions. So just be sure to DM me on any of the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm here to answer whatever it is that you have on your mind. So you can hashtag live enlightened and spiritual as fuck. And so again, you can get excited because we are going to have a Love, Healing, Hope Psychic Fair Saturday, February the 15th. Saturday, February 15th, 2025. From 12 to 6 at the Awaken Center in the Plymouth Meeting Mall, the Love, Healing, Hope Psychic Fair. So make some plans to show up on that Saturday and be with people who are just dying to love upon you, dying to help you step into the best version of yourself, dying to help you live enlightened and hashtag spiritual as fuck. And so, my friends, boop, boop, doop, boop, boop. Here we go. You know how to reach me. I thank you all for sharing your time with me today. I think that there have been some messages about how the connection hasn't worked properly, and I'm going to look into that. And so I appreciate your patience with me as I navigate technology. Thank you for showing up today, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Now dance it out.